Why is Git so unfriendly to new users? Is it because the concept of a distributed version control system is too complex for us mortals? Or is it because the inner workings of Git, as impressive as they may be, are unnecessarily exposed through its command line interface? Perhaps all we really need is the ability to make commits and push them upstream, but no! We're also forced to understand the nuances of fetch versus pull, merge versus rebase, reflog, head, and even blame. Why? Why, Linus?
You.
That's why.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the Git interactive rebase. It's really not complicated, but a lot of developers get intimidated by it because of the fear of losing code, things like that, but it just sounds fancy, but in reality it's just editing commits. All you do is just select how many commits you want to edit, and then it pops up the simple log or a simple file that you edit, and in that file you specify what you want to do with the commit. By default, every commit will be picked and will be included as is, but you can change it to reword the commit, which means change the commit message. You could change the files in the commit, you could change the commit order, or you can combine a couple of commits together using the command squash. You could do a whole bunch of interesting things with Git interactive rebase, but typically people use it for 3 use cases: editing the commit messages, squashing commits together or combining them together, or changing file in the commit history. The goal here is to deliver the code to your team the cleanest way possible. Please be sure to check out my first 2 videos about the Git rebase basics and how to resolve conflicts in Git rebase. In those 2 videos I explain why rebase is called rebase. It'll be helpful to you to build some mental models that you can use to understand how Git works internally. So let's take a look here. I have a feature branch, add configuration dashboard in my repository, and if I look at the history, git log, there's a bunch of commit messages. By the way, there's a better way to look at the history. You could do git log -all -decorate on one line and graph, and that shows you the commit messages like that. And you could tweak this to your liking, so for example like this. I also configured an alias for this command, so instead of typing all this, I type git dog, and it gives me this. So I have my feature branch that started off of master branch, and it has 3 commits in it. I've been working on a feature. I've been hastily adding commits, and I made some typos in this one. For example, add config dashboard main class and its tests, but I forgot to add tests to this one, and then describe test scenarios. I added the tests and I described test scenarios. So my team will have a hard time following what's going on in this setup. So I wanna fix it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start editing my commits from commit just before commits I made. So from this hash code, I could do git rebase -i for interactive, and I could say I want to edit 5 last commits or 4 last commits like this, and it pops up the editor. Don't look at it yet. Starts with the commit just before my commit, and then all my commits. Or I could do git rebase, and I could specify the hash I want to start editing from. And so oops, I want to do git interactive rebase for that, and it starts that. I usually use a number of commits. I usually look at my history, and I decide how many commits back I want to go, and I do rebase -i head tilde character, and 4 is the number of commits. This opens your text editor of choice, and this is by default is going to be the VI, but if you use VI, you could have problem with your dating life. You could configure it to be your VS Code as well. So it can pop up the VS Code and a separate window where you can see the same exact text file. So this text file is just simply the list of instructions for Git to do, to perform. If you don't make any changes to it, it'll simply pick your commits and apply them. We'll apply them, and essentially nothing happens. Successfully rebased, nothing happened. So everything remained the way it is. Also, you may notice that the commits are displayed in the reverse order from the log. So when you do the git log, it shows you the last commit first. But in this case, it shows you the commits in their chronological order. This is the oldest commit, and then the first commit in my feature branch, and then the next commit, etc. So this is, to note, this is the commit with the typos. And let's fix the typos. Git makes it really easy because every time it pops up the Git interactive rebase editor, it shows you everything you could do with it. And it shows you some instructions, and it's pretty basic. It's nothing to it. So all you have to do to edit this commit message is to use the command reword, or R. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change this, pick with the R, and I'm going to reword this commit. And let's just do that. I'm going to just save it. And when I save this file, Git will just go one by line and will apply everything that you've specified. So I only changed one commit, so it's just going to pick the previous commit, we'll keep it unchanged. It'll reword this commit, and it'll pick these other two commits unchanged. So first command, I want to reword this, so I'm just going to fix this. Oops. Dashboard, and I'm going to save it. And that's it. So if I do git dog now, you'll see that it fixed my commit message. But now, let's say I wanted to actually add tests in this commit, in the second commit. So I'm adding the config dashboard first, and then I'm adding main class and tests. I didn't add tests in this commit intentionally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do rebase with last three commits. And I'm going to edit this commit, for example. So to do that, I'm going to refer to documentation, select edit. So I'm going to do edit, save this, and now notice what happened. So I'm currently on this commit. So git rebase stopped at this point. So, and it tells me what to do. This is the commit message I'm editing. You can amend commit now. So I opened it, basically I opened it up for editing, and I'm going to open my config dashboard. So this is config dashboard, and I'm going to add tests. So I'm going to add config dashboard test RB. I will place all test code here momentarily. So I saved that. I'm just going to do git add, git, and so see, I don't have to commit it because this, I don't want to create a new commit. I want to edit this existing commit. So to do that, I want to do continue. I want to do git rebase continue. But it's important to stage your changes for commit, just like you would normally do before you're committing, but don't commit. So if you look at the status, git status, it shows you that you're currently in the interactive rebase, if you read that, and it says the changes to be committed in this file is this one new file. So I'm going to do git rebase -- continue, and that prompts me to also edit the commit message, which I don't need to do. I'm just going to save it again, and my rebase is complete. No, actually no, it's not complete because there's now conflicts. Oh, interesting. I did that intentionally. So it turns out in my earlier commit, describe test scenarios, I already added that file. So if I modified the prior commit, add main tasks, and I added the same exact file, this will conflict with the subsequent commit. So git interactive rebase automatically prompted me with the conflicts, and there's no need to be afraid of this. It just first it stopped on that commit that had conflicts, and it just dumped everything that's conflicting into the working directory. So now I have both edit config dashboard test, and if I edit that file, so it just shows me what was there before and what I'm adding. So this is what I put in while previous rebase, and this is what was there already in this file. So I'm just going to remove the markup. I'm going to save the file. I'm going to stage this file for commit, and I'm just going to git rebase continue. And again, it pops up another editor to let me edit the commit message. I don't need to do that. Describe test scenarios, and I'm going to save this. So if you look at the git dog now, you'll see the spelling mistakes are fixed, or typos. This now actually adds the tests, and now this actually doesn't do anything because this commit just doesn't do anything now. So this is still not very clean. If I look at the last commit, at this one, git show, it shows me that I'm simply changing the content of the config dashboard test from this to this. It's not useful to anybody. Like, why not change it in one go? And so if I go git dog again, so this commit and this commit are essentially doing the same thing. So I want to squash them together. So to do that, I'm going to do another git rebase interactive with going 3 commits back. And look what happens. So these are 2 commits I want to combine together. And the way to do that is to use the squash command. And if you read the comment, it says use commit but meld into previous commit. As I said before, git goes from top to bottom. It picks this commit and applies it unchanged. Then it picks this commit, but then I want to squash this commit on top or together with the previous one. So to do that, I'm just going to change this command to squash, and now this commit will be combined with the previous one. And if you have multiple commits to squash, you could say squash, squash, and so these 2 commits will be squashed into this one, or will be added, combined together. So you could squash multiple commits in one go, just like that. But I'm not going to do it in this example. I'm just going to save the file as is. And so now this is a combination of 2 commits. Git prompts me with another text editor, and in this text editor, it shows me what I'm changing, and there's 2 commits that are squashed. There's 1 commit message, there's another commit message, and I could decide what my resulting commit message will be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this, and I'm just going to keep this add main class and its tests. Save this, and now if you look at the history, git dog, it shows you there's now only 2 commits. 1 commit where I'm adding a dashboard, and another commit is I'm adding main class and its tests. And so I'm kind of ready to push it up to my team, but really, why should there be 2 commits? Smaller the pull requests are, the better, because it's easier to review them meaningfully. Funny thing is, when you have 100 files in your merge request, it tends to be reviewed really quickly, so you'll get 2 approvals like in no time. When you push up 1 file in your pull request, then the whole team is going to scrutinize it. That 1 file will have 100 comments in it. And so for that reason, it is better to keep your pull requests really small and simple and incremental, so that the team can do a meaningful code review for you. You don't want to push multiple commits in the pull request, is what I'm saying. So usually you want to make an incremental change, a change that brings value or adds value to the project, and then push it up as a pull request. So in this case, I have 2 commits. Still, I'm just going to squash them together again. I'm going to do rebase, and I'm going to squash this into that, and I'm just going to do end tests. So I'm just doing it real quickly. Add configuration dashboard and tests. Save it, and now if I look at my history, this branch only has 1 commit, add config dashboard and tests. And if I look at the git show for that commit, it shows me that I've added the config dashboard file with its content, and I added the config dashboard test with just this line. Okay, hope this makes sense. It's not intimidating at all. If you're not comfortable with using VI, feel free to configure it. I'll let you Google how to configure your favorite editor of choice to be git commit editor. Hope this is helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Let me read a few comments from the last video. Did team programmer become an HR associate or something? There is not a next video. Maybe he fell in the lake in the Salt Lake City. RIP team programmer. Love. Thank you, James. That's a very nice of you. I'm still here unless I'm gonna fall into this one. Thanks a lot. Manab Roy. Thank you for that. Спасибо из Воронежа. Пожалуйста. Спасибо за то, что смотрите. This is the best video. Thank you so much. LOL. Every time I have some conflicts to resolve, I come for this video. Thanks a bunch. You're welcome. Great stuff. Thanks. Thank you so much! Exclamation. Finally, I understand this. Very helpful. Thank you. Helped me a lot. Thanks, man. You're welcome, man.
The sketch really cracked me up. More, please. I'm trying. A channel with this level of production value has only 38 subscribers. This video has the best explanation I've seen so far of rebase conflict resolution. Make me number 39. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you a lot. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll make a few more videos, and I'm planning to make videos about other subjects that I run across at my job. For example, Kubernetes, running continuous integration, stuff like that. All right, stay tuned. See you later.